I fear this arc is where a One Piece watcher becomes a One Piece glazer. I'm a huge Naruto fan. I swore I'd never watch One Piece, but now I am. Water 7 Saga. Let's break this down into arcs. I'll admit it isn't the strongest arc, and it probably should be filler, but it's still fun. You can't deny it's a fun arc. The arc does start off pretty weak, with Tonjit, that guy on the stilts, and him meeting up with his long-lost family and all of that. But it did breed one of my favorite memes in all of One Piece. Luffy being super racist to Chopper. Do you know who else is racist? Not me. So you should subscribe. Then after that whole bit of the arc, we encounter the Foxy Pirates, who are a massive crew. We're also introduced to the Davy Back fight, which is a really interesting concept, but did feel a little bit like filler. I did really enjoy it though, because it's the closest thing we're gonna get to a tournament arc. I think that's what it feels like, at least. This arc focuses on team building and the emotional impact of potential Straw Hat separation, which is kind of depressing, even though I had an inkling that no one was gonna get separated. An example of this is how distressed Chopper is when he is separated from the crew. The Foxy Pirates, while not really memorable individually besides Foxy himself, truly embody the essence of pirates, with a little bit of humor and a shitload of cheating.
Okay, now! Hey! Hey! Have a fucking word within that ref!
While the Davy Back fight had its amazing moments, like the roller derby, the run up the mountain with Zoro getting lost, I can't remember what the game was, but when they play against the giant, Sanji and Zoro. It had all of those amazing moments, but the final fight between Luffy and Foxy was such a drag. The only good thing to come from that was obviously Afro Luffy, because we all know Afro Luffy is superior. Oh, and another thing, we finally got introduced to a Navy Admiral in Aokiji, and we truly got to see how powerful they are when he pretty much wrecked all the Straw Hats. Overall rating, 7 out of 10. Water 7. Where the hell do I even start? I love this arc so much. The Straw Hats arrive in Water 7 looking for a shipwright to fix the Mary, and luckily for them, all the world's best shipwrights reside in Water 7. We get to see some really cool shipwrights slash Caped Crusaders slash celebrities that everybody loves. The shipwrights of Galileo. When we first saw them, I really liked Lucci and Kaku. We also got introduced to Frankie and his crime family. At first I found him pretty annoying, but he grew on me really quickly. The Straw Hats end up getting separated. Robin gets kidnapped by a government agency called CP9. Usopp gets robbed and beaten up by the Frankie family, and shit just becomes chaotic. And then it just becomes worse. Usopp starts struggling with self-doubt and ultimately leaves the crew. All of this starts because they are deciding whether to fix the Mary or get a new ship, and Usopp is very against getting rid of the Mary because he obviously has attachment to it, and thus leaves the crew. This scene is super pivotal because it's the first proper tension we see amongst the crew. And then to make things even worse, the Straw Hats are framed for the attempted assassination of Water 7's mayor and also the owner of the Galileo Shipwright Company, Iceberg. To cut a long review short, it turns out most of the shipwrights at Galileo were members of CP9, and this was fucking mind-blowing to me. I usually pride myself in picking up plot twists like that, and fuck me did that come out of nowhere. I've never been so caught off guard watching a show before. And also I feel like I've seen so many One Piece spoilers, and I've never seen anything about that, so I guess good on everyone who's ever seen that for not spoiling it. Thank you. CP9 versus Straw Hats was a super stressful fight, and I did not see a way for Luffy to beat Lucci. Remember how I mentioned Frankie growing on me? It's partly because of his backstory when it's finally revealed. His relationship with Tom and Iceberg and all of that was done so well. It made me so freaking emotional. Plus, on top of that, it really made me hate Spandam, which we'll get onto later. Paulie's character development is probably one of my favorites in the show so far. It was very quick, but it was done so well. He went from this annoying, self-righteous guy with a gambling problem to probably the only good guy in Galileo after Iceberg. And also, a side note, that flashback of him watching the puffing Tom wrecked me. It truly showed how much he wanted to be a shipwright his whole life. This might be the highest rating I've ever given an arc in the show, in the series. 9.5 out of 10. I wish I could rewatch it for the first time. The one you've all been waiting for. Maybe. I don't know. Enies Lobby. Enies Lobby revolves around rescuing Robin. Remember I said she got kidnapped? This arc highlights the crew's dedication to one another and also shows how much of an insane bond they all have. What I really liked about this arc was the clusterfuck of people that united to rescue Robin and Frankie. There was the Frankie family, there was the Straw Hats, there was Paulie and some of the good shipwrights that were left over, and even Soga King. It was just a clusterfuck of people. It was so cool. Another thing I liked about this arc was everyone had their moment to shine, or every Straw Hat had their moment to shine. It wasn't just the monster trio doing the fighting like we have come to expect. We get to see Nami's intellect when she creates clones of herself using steam and a cool ball. We get to see Chopper push himself to another level when he uses Monster Point. That was pretty fucking scary and so anti what we expect from Chopper. So that was cool, but yeah, scary. Other people also showcased cool new abilities, like Luffy with his second and third gear, Sanji with his Diable, Jambe, I don't know how to say that, and Zoro with his 9 sword style, and also Soga King's Kabuto. This arc really emphasizes Luffy's abilities as a leader. He proves that he deeply cares for each and every member of his crew by throwing himself in almost unwinnable situations to save them, like declaring war on the world government when he makes Soga King set the world government flag alight. I really hope they reveal who Soga King is. And then obviously there's Lucci, Luffy's toughest opponent so far. He's a skilled assassin who has crazy training and insane abilities, and is also ruthless. He once rescued 500 soldiers who were taken hostage. He killed their captors, and then killed them because he thought they were weak, because they got themselves captured. What the fuck? Like I said, he was extremely tough, and Luffy had to put himself at extreme risk to beat him. But my favorite thing about Enies Lobby is Robin's tragic backstory. That sounds fucked up. Not like my favorite thing is how depressing her backstory was, but just the way Oda wrote it and showed it. So good. Her backstory put a huge emotional blanket over the entire arc. Her history of abuse, abandonment, loneliness is extremely tragic to watch, and is only really saved, or the only saving grace in her backstory are people like Jaguar D. Saul and Aokiji, kind of. Her backstory shows the lengths the government will go to cover things up, and shows how evil they are. Like, they blew up a whole island of people, Ohara, just because they discovered secrets about the government. Them using a Buster at Ohara, and also using the Buster at Enies Lobby, shows that even Marines are disposable for their cause, which is so fucked up. And also, seriously, fuck Spandam. Also, I know this was a super depressing arc for Robin. She was full on kidnapped and scheduled to be executed and everything. But why the fuck did they have to make her such a baddie in this arc? I had the craziest mixed emotions while watching this. And of course, we cannot talk about Enies Lobby without showing that iconic scene. So enjoy it.
本当に少しだけ望みを言っていいのなら私は生きたい私も一緒に海へ連れてって
Enies Lobby is objectively better than Water 7, right? Even I can see that if I remove my bias from the situation. But I personally prefer Water 7. So for that reason, I'm giving Enies Lobby a 9 instead of a 9.5 out of 10. Which is still really good. I still love this arc. I just prefer Water 7. Post Enies Lobby. This is an arc I did not expect to be that good, because it felt like it was going to be anticlimactic after what we just experienced. But I'm just going to start this off with a huge, fat RIP to the Going Merry. Fuck me. Why did that have to happen? I mean, it was foreshadowed for so long, but I didn't want it to happen. Also, that flashback of Iceberg trying to fix her in the storm at in the middle of the night. That bumped up my character appreciation for Iceberg so much. My stocks in Iceberg. Everyone had their moment to say goodbye to the Going Merry, and it was super sad to watch. But unfortunately, the person who was closest to the Merry, Usopp, who had connections from Syrup Village, from trying to fix her, leaving the crew because he didn't want her to be thrown away. Unfortunately, he wasn't at the funeral, which is kind of depressing. Even Soga King was there. Okay, sorry. Okay, enough of that stupid meme. It was cool that Usopp was at the funeral, even though he was in disguise and not really a member of the crew at the time. With all that being said, the 1000 Sunny is so fucking sick. And the link between Goldie Roger and Luffy continues. Tom built Goldie Roger's ship, and then his 2 apprentices, mainly Frankie, design and build Luffy's ship. Bro is destined to become the Pirate King. If there was a betting pool in this, I put so much money on Luffy becoming Pirate King. There's a huge reveal to the crew. I can't remember if I didn't know it at the time, but I think it was spoiled for me already. Garp is Luffy's grandfather, and the crew loses their minds. And then to top it off, the notorious rebel and criminal Dragon is Luffy's father, which is cool. Kobe's glow up is sick as fuck. Garp goes on to deliver some information about Shanks, revealing that he is one of the 4 emperors of the New World. At the time, that didn't really mean anything to me. It just sounded like a term. But now that I'm actually post-time skip, sorry for breaking the illusion that I've just finished Water 7. Now that I'm post-time skip, that was a huge reveal. But at the time, it didn't feel that impactful, I don't think. We get another Straw Hat party, which is tradition. And that scene between Aokiji and Robin, I think it was needed because it showed that Aokiji is not just another marine that has the mentality of pirate bad, must catch and kill pirate. He's got layers to him, even in such a high position. He understands that certain situations are extremely nuanced, and I love that. Frankie saying goodbye to the Frankie family was unexpectedly sad. The way they showed that he took all these hooligans and criminals off the streets and made him join his Robin Hood-esque gang of thieves was so well done. We have to mention Zoro's speech when Luffy considered Usopp joining the crew again. As shitty as the situation is, Zoro, I feel, was in the right. Even Sanji agreed with him, and Sanji hates his guts. Usopp was also super annoying when he was rehearsing his lines to join the crew and pretty much shifting blame onto anything but him. But that being said, the resolution of that whole fiasco was actually very cool. Usopp spouting line after line after line and Luffy ignoring him until he heard the word sorry. And then he fucking yanks Usopp onto the ship. Super emotional. Finally, Ace's fight with Blackbeard. It started so well. Ace was doing really well. He was sick. But boy, did that fight kill my fire quickly. Like what I did there. Yeah. Why the hell is Blackbeard so maniacal and super strong? You can't have both. That's unfair. You can either be maniacal or super strong. Together, that's fucked. That's not fair. His devil fruit is super strong, but also kind of confusing. I feel so smooth-brained when he explained it. I was like, I don't know what he's talking about. And then to top it off, he can also steal other devil fruit abilities. What the fuck? He's making me too scared to watch the show. I think I'll rate Post Enies Lobby an 8. No, a 7.5 out of 10. I can't give it higher than that because even though it's a fairly good arc and it's got lots of emotional scenes, it is just the transition arc into the next saga, so it can't be too highly rated. And now we move on to the award section of the program. I hated that too, don't worry. My favorite location. I think that one's pretty easy. It's got to be Water 7. It's like the Venice of the One Piece world. Its vulnerability to storms and flooding is pretty scary though, so I don't think I would choose to live there over another island. Well, good island. But out of this arc, it's between Water 7 or Enies Lobby, and I'm not trying to be a prisoner, so Water 7 it is. Favorite devil fruit. This is so hard to choose because the obvious answer is Blackbeard, right? But my dumbass can't comprehend his devil fruit properly, so it feels like cheating if I pick it. But then at the same time, every other new devil fruit in this arc that we were introduced to were all Zoan types, and not even cool Zoan types. So that's lame. So I guess I have to go with Blackbeard's Yummy Yummy no Mi. My 3 least favorite characters in this arc. First place being who I hated the most. Third place being third most. Just to clarify. In third place is Foxy. But I kind of want to include some of his crew in that as well. But I'll just say Foxy. That cheating bitch. In second place, Blackbeard. He's scary. And in first place, Spandam. Cause fuck Spandam. My 3 favorite characters. Remember, this is just for the saga, not the overall show. In third place, Sanji, of course. I don't think there's been a single top 3 he hasn't cracked. Second place is Ace. Just because Ace is so cool. And in first place, surprisingly, is Paulie. That's how well they wrote him. My overall thoughts. This is my favorite saga by far. And I'm fully hooked on the show now, purely because of Water 7. I fear this saga is where a One Piece watcher becomes a One Piece glazer. Overall rating for this entire saga, 9.5 out of 10. Mathematically, that doesn't add up. Don't even try to calculate it. I just love it that much. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next week. I keep saying next week and I'm uploading every 2 weeks at the moment. But I'm going to try and do next week. I love you so much. Please like, please subscribe, please comment, and peace.